Hey friends, good afternoon. Lois East with Ellie Grace's Attic here. Wanted to come on this afternoon and tell you guys a little bit about how we stain wood in the shop and just talk to you about some of the things that I've learned over the years about how to really get the most out of staining the wood. In our projects. Last time I think I talked to you guys when I was in the shop about distressing wood and I was using paint. Today we're gonna do our blanks. We're gonna treat them with stain. We use several different types of stain in the shop, and I'll go over those in a minute and show you the ones that I've had the most success with. So that way you can kind of make a list of things that you might want to get on your next staining project or wood project. So we have several blanks in the shop. These are custom cut for orders that need to go out. This one is, I don't know if I'll be able to get the whole thing in the frame. It's about 12 inches wide, 39 inches tall. That's the one I'm going to be staining for you today. And I want to talk to you a little bit first about how to prep your wood. For all of our wood, if we're going to stain it, well, all of it, before we do anything to it, gets sanded down really well. For staining, you are going to want to make sure that you use a really good, you don't want to go too fine, so you don't want it to be, I don't know if you've ever bought, we use, hold on, our sanding pad, we have a hand sander. It looks like this. Hey, Itasca. Hey, Jana. How are you ladies doing? Come redo your table. I don't know if I could tackle a table. I can do it. Are you gonna let me stay at your house while I redo your table? I haven't done a table yet. I've done a bedroom set, but I haven't done a dining room table yet. Anyway, we use this sander, and your sandpaper, for those of you who don't know, has numbers. The bigger the number, the finer the grit on it. And so for wood to accept stain, you want to go, we've had success, we don't go any finer than 120 grit, and you really don't want to go any rougher than like a 100. So stay right in that range and you're going to get a pretty finish. All woods are not created equal. Some woods like pine, maple, I think. Some wood, not all woods take stain the same way. But if you follow the steps I'm going to show you today, you should be good. We've had great success doing this, prepping your wood to stain. So I'll get that out in a minute. So first step, you're going to sand it with that between 100 and 120 grit sandpaper. It's fine if you do it just with a regular sheet of sandpaper in your hand, or if you have a power tool like I do, a hand sander, which by the way, if you're going to do any good amount of woodworking, you need one of those. I used to do it the manual way and it took a lot longer. That was the best Christmas present I ever got, was that hand sander. So you sand down your wood really good. Make sure that it's smooth. There are no bumps, no dinks, anything like that, because when you put the stain on it, the finished product is, it's going to show, that stain's going to highlight that blemish. So you want to make sure you get it as smooth as possible. And it depends on the look you're going for too. There are some projects that we do with pallet wood that we want to keep some of that rustic texture, and that kind of adds to the integrity of the project. So it depends, but something like a dining room table, obviously, or what we're doing today, we want it to be as smooth as possible. Okay, so we have sanded our wood and we've made sure it's all smooth. The next step that you want to do after you sand it, when you sand, I don't know if you could see my shirt, but I have like a fine dust all over my clothes because I've been sanding in the garage. So your wood is going to have that on it too. So what you want to do is take a cloth, a dust cloth, a shop towel, whatever you got, wipe down your wood really good, get rid of all that dust to make sure your wood is clean before you put anything on it, paint, stain, whatever. So then the next step is what we have found to be integral. A lot of people at this point will put a conditioner on their wood, and I'm not knocking that, that is great, but it's a little more expensive than the next step that we're gonna do. We just use good old-fashioned water. So, and the way that we do that, I think I already brought my rag in because I've already done that step. You just take a rag, any old rag you got, and you wet it. You don't want it to be sopping and dripping. You just want it to be like really good and damp. And then you wipe your wood with that damp cloth. Make sure you get every inch of your wood surface that you're going to be staining, and that does a couple of things. That additionally cleans it, so makes sure that you have everything, all that dust off, but it also opens up the wood, if that makes sense. Kind of like when you clean your face and your pores open up, that's kind of what you're doing to the wood. So that water is going to make it expand just a little, and it is going to really open it up to receive the stain that you're about to put on it. So if you miss a spot, you're going to have one little spot that's got the stain really soaks in, and you're going to have one that's not so much. So you're going to have an uneven finish. So get your damp cloth, wipe down your surface with that, and get your wood ready to receive your stain. And now the next step is hard. You have to wait. I know none of us like that word. Or like waiting. So you have to wait, let it dry completely before you put the stain on. Okay, so hold on. All right, so that's our little handy dandy tip. That's what we do for every piece of wood that we stain, is we go through those few steps. So now we're going to talk about the types of stain that we use. There are about 100 million types of stain. You just have to find one that works well for you and for what you're doing in your shop, and settle on that one. So I see some comments coming through. I don't know if I can, y'all have to bear with me. Hashtag bifocals. Itasca, the only thing about refinishing my table is I won't lose. Yeah, lots of oops. I don't know if I can read your whole comment, sister. Let me see. Yeah. Gonna make me giggle. We did do some crazy projects, didn't we, sister? Okay. All right, let's talk about stain real quick, and then I'm gonna stain, or show you how I stain. Again, you do what works best for you, but this is how I do it. I like this Minwax stain. Oh, I forgot to turn my camera around. I'm sorry, so this is gonna be a little backwards. I've had great success with Minwax. Some people don't like it. I don't have a problem with it. We love it. We get it at Lowe's. I'm going to use Classic Gray today, which is a lighter gray, and that's what I need for what I'm doing. We also use Rust-Oleum, which this is fun. This is Barn Red. Such a fun color. We love doing all the colors here at Ellie Grace's Attic. This one's really great. This one you can get at Home Depot. And this isn't a commercial. I'm just telling you, where I get it, so you can run out and get it too. I think I've gotten this at Walmart before. I also get it at Home Depot. So Rust-Oleum. And it comes in all kind of fun colors. It also comes in the classic colors. Okay, Itasca says we keep freezing. I'm sorry, friends. I don't know what the internet's trying to do. But we're going to get through this. So we have the Classic Gray Minwax that we're going to use today, and then I have another piece I'm going to do in this Barn Red. but we're gonna do the gray for you guys. So the next step is to shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Let me try. I'm gonna channel my Casey and the Sunshine Band. So shake it up really good because your stain will settle as it sits. All those sediments are gonna settle down in the bottom, and it's gonna separate. And so you want to shake it up really good. Okay, thanks, Gianna. I'm glad you can still see what's going on. So you want to shake it up really good and mix it up, kind of like stirring your paint. You could stir it if you want with a paint stirrer. It's fun to shake it. All right, so then we're going to open that up with our handy dandy screwdriver. All right. Now, also let me throw in, I am outside. It's best to do this in a well-ventilated area. Okay, while I was talking though, I got gunk all over my floor. Let me get that off. Do this in a well-ventilated area because there are some fumes, so you want to make sure you're ventilated. The other thing is, it's kind of like when you are painting. You want to paint on the right day, so you got to check the weather. You don't want it to be too cold, but you don't want it to be too hot. So probably not colder, and I don't know the exact numbers, but I would say probably not colder than 50-ish and probably not hotter than 80-ish. You don't want there to be ice outside, and you don't want there to be you don't want to be sweltering. And you want to make sure it's not raining, probably for at least 24 hours when you stain. Now, I don't know if that's so much going to affect your finish, but it will affect your drying time. Now, let me just also add that when you got to do what you got to do, you just got to do it. That's probably not the best English, but y'all know what I'm talking about. When you gotta do what you gotta do, when you're under deadline, you just gotta do it. So this girl has stained in adverse conditions and turned on a space heater. I have used a blow dryer. You just sometimes gotta do what you gotta do. But best conditions are not too cold, not too hot, and not raining. Okay, so just FYI, word to the wise. So, and I am not wearing gloves, y'all. I cannot find a glove. I got tired of buying the disposable gloves, and I tried to buy some gloves that, the rubber ones that you wash dishes with. And I thought, well, I'll just keep those and stain, but I go through gloves like crazy. So I just apologize sometimes for my hands. We're just going to get dirty in the shop today, and you know what, that's okay, because that's the fun in doing crafts, is you get dirty sometimes. Like Atasca said in her comment, you just have those oops sometimes on your clothes or on the table or what. That's why I now put down wax paper, Atasca, underneath all my projects on the dining room table. But I have invested in a big bulk thing of shop rags. And I also have, I don't know what you call it. It's over there on the shelf buried, so I can't see it to tell you. But my husband gets these. They are kind of like baby wipes. You pull them out, but they have this special cleaner on them, but it's safe. It's to orange something. I can't think of the name. I'll post it for you. But anyway, I wipe my hands down with that after I stain it. The stain comes right off. I dry them off with a shop towel. Then when I go in, I wash them with soap and water and moisturize. So it's all good. That was much easier than investing in gloves 100,000 times. So anyway, I digress. Those are a few other pointers for you. So now we're going to stain. We've shaken up our stain really good. I'm just going to hold it. I'm kind of at the bottom of the barrel because I use this gray color a lot. It's one of my favorite colors to work with. So if you watched my live yesterday and we talked about reusing t-shirts, this is just an old t-shirt that I'm about to stain with. Again, you can buy the sponge, they make special sponges to stain with. You can do different textures or whatever, but we're kicking it old school and simple, and we're using just a t-shirt, an old t-shirt I cut up. Make sure it's cotton and make sure it doesn't have a lot of flyaway, linty little things happening, because you want it to be as smooth as possible. Alright, so I'm just dipping this in the stain. Get a good amount on there. It's okay if you drip a little. And I am just, if you can see, rubbing it on. You rub it on. I'm going to rub it on. Try to get as much as I can. Now, this color that I'm putting, or this project, is going to be painted over. So this stain is kind of like the base coat, okay? Because I'm going to dry brush white over it and then sand that off, or sand it down a little bit. I'm going to distress it. But I want my base coat to be this pretty gray. So it's going to kind of look, it's going to kind of give it a natural weathered look, this project that we're doing. So it really doesn't need to be, now you see I've got my color, let me put this down and try to show you. You can't, I'm sorry you can't see the whole board, but I've got the board covered in the gray all over. So at this point, I'm going to kind of flip to a side that doesn't have very much stain, and I'm going to wipe off any excess. It's kind of like dancing. I'm just making long, smooth strokes, wiping off the excess. Okay, now at this point, stain is kind of like paint in that it sometimes dries, or most of the time in my experience, will dry darker. So if I look at it right now and I'm like, that's a little light, I think I could get it darker. Well, don't stain again at this point. What you need to do is let this first coat dry completely, and then once it's dry completely, look at it again, and then at that point you would add a second coat, okay? But if you did all your prep steps first, like with the water, with the damp cloth and everything, then it's really going to receive it well, and you're going to get a nice deep color, okay? So don't panic if you get the stain on there and it's not what you want initially, okay? Sometimes we have to wait. I say that again. It's a process. We're doing crock pot, not microwave, right? All right. So see, now I got oil all over my hands. All right. So now this piece, and we're going to let it dry before we stain the other side. And for time purposes, I'm going to move on and show you the red, just because red is fun. And I'm going to move this one, and you'll see, I don't know if you can see the color, it's got a nice gray. And again, this is probably all I'm going to do on this one, because it's going to get white paint over it. So move that one out of the way. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. While I grab this other board, I'm gonna grab this little board, and I need to wipe my hands. I don't want my colors mixing. Okay, got that. This is just a little 12 by 12 sign. It's gonna have patriotic saying on it. So what funner color to do than barn red? And y'all, this barn red is just, I don't know, it's one of my colors, or color wise, it's one of my favorites. Of course I love red. So all right, we're going to shake this one up. If you guys have any questions about what I'm doing or staining in general, if you want to pop those up on the comment feed, I'll do my best to catch them. If you guys like this video, please let us know by giving us a like or heart, comment, share, and we will probably be posting this on YouTube anyway, as well as Facebook for later, because that's where most people go when they need to know how to do something. All right, you got to make sure you really get the screwdriver in there to get your lid off. Do it right. It's fun to get messy. It kind of looks like I had an accident, right? I'll wipe that off. All right, so I'm going to show you the lid just because isn't that the prettiest red? I'm kind of funny about my reds too. I like a deeper red. I mean, I like all shades of red, but this one's just fun. All right. Da, da, da. But don't be afraid to experiment with your colors on your projects. A lot of times, people are scared of color, but what fun is that? Also, if you are in a place like Lowe's, Home Depot, and they don't have a fun color like this already mixed, you can buy, I don't know if you can buy, this might be considered a sample at Lowe's or Home Depot, but you can definitely buy a quart, buy a base color, and you go up to the paint table or counter, whatever you call it, and you tell them you want a stain mixed, and they can mix it for you. They can, show you the color wheel, pick out the color you want, because sometimes, just like paint, you might not see the color on the shelf, but they can mix just about anything. But they can mix, a lot of people don't realize that you can mix stain like that, but you can. They can mix you up your own custom color. So don't be afraid to ask. If you don't know, ask. If you don't see it, ask. So yeah, you don't have to stick to the same boring colors that they have on the shelf. Just have fun with it. Yep. Because crafting is fun. Playing with colors, fun. Okay, again, I'm just coloring it all in right now, and then I'm going to come back and wipe it off. So yeah, if you have any questions, put those in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If I don't answer them on the live, I'll catch them and comment later. Like, comment, share, all of the above. All right, so I've got that on. This is gonna have a frame too, so you'll notice I didn't stain the sides. If it wasn't gonna have a frame, I would go ahead and stain the sides, but it doesn't, so I'm not gonna waste my stain. All right, so now I've got that on. I'm just gonna come back, wipe it off, or wipe off the excess. Well, I don't have the cleanest rag, so it's I probably should have. Now this one, I probably will put a second coat because I really, but again, I don't know. Well, hold on, let me get. A cleaner rag to wipe off. How fun. All right. So again, this has to dry for the color to really show, but that's the barn red. So it kind of has a weathered look to it. It's really, really pretty. All right. What else are we going to talk about? I think that is pretty much the basics of staining. I have about 4 more pieces that I have to stain. I will not bore you with those details. So I just wanted to come on and share with you guys the basics of how we stain things. Hopefully some of these tips help you guys in future projects that you're gonna do. Itasca, I'll be praying for you as you refinish your table. I actually am going to be refinishing a table. This is free. This is just fun. I inherited a family heirloom table. It's a side table. It's really beautiful. It belonged to my mom, and before that it belonged to her mom, and so on and so forth. Actually, at this point in my life, I don't know where the table originated from, but it's a beautiful table. It has, it's not Jenny Lind, but the legs are kind of like Jenny Lind. Anyway, it's beautiful. It sat in my grandmother's living room all during my childhood, and then to my mom's living room when she passed. So I have in turn inherited this table, but it has several oops, like Itasca was talking about. It has been spilled on and different things. So I'm going to be actually bringing that home to my house this summer, and I'm going to be redoing it. So I'll have to come on and do another video to show you guys that project, because I'm super stoked about it. It's going to end up residing in our dining room, I think. So super excited about that. But anyway, don't be afraid to go for it. Sometimes staining can be intimidating. At least it was for me when I started. My husband knew more about it than I did, and he kind of schooled me in the ways of staining and just different things that I've learned over the years, what not to do, what to do, what works best for us. It's nice to see you too, Amy. So these are the things that work best for us in our shop. So just play with it, get it down to your own science, your own thing. But I promise these tips have been successful for me. So you guys get out there, don't be afraid to experiment, have fun with it. And until I see you again, happy crafting. Take care. See you guys soon.